Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Hilltop in the Valley. It has been a while since I've been here. That has not been intentional. We've had a lot going on. I just got through being sick, and the last couple of summer months that we've had, June, July, we have been trying to fix a lot of things in our house, which started out as just tearing out the carpet, ended up being so many more things that we had not foreseen. We found out that our son was pulling down asbestos tile in the bedroom, and so that initiated a big exodus of the bedrooms. The boys ended up camping out with the sister for a little while we redid their bedrooms, got that all taken care of. And now the boys are back in their room, thankfully, but we are still living out of the kitchen. And so for today, I am outside so that I do not have to talk in the kitchen, because I am in the kitchen every other time of the day, as the rest of our downstairs area is torn apart. So I would love to show you a little bit of that, but it will look a lot better as things come together. For now, I wanted to tell you that we are going to be making a lemon pound cake today with the Einkorn flour, and I am really excited to share this recipe with you because I usually had some form of strawberry shortcake for my birthday growing up. And while I do like the kind of scone style of shortcake that people often use, I'm also used to, a lot of the time my parents would just make some kind of a cake, and then we would top it with the strawberries and the whipped cream, and I loved that. And this year for my birthday, I did try out this pound cake recipe, and I thought it was so good, and I thought I would share it with you guys. We also made this hoping to do kind of a garden party with it, and so I'll talk more about that at the end. But if you have been watching this channel, or if you are new, I would love if you could hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It just tells YouTube that we are a channel that is being watched. It helps us to grow more, and I really appreciate that. For those who you have already done that, and for you who have been following for a while, thank you guys so much. So anyways, let's start off with this lemon pound cake because it is really simple. I just use a loaf pan when I do it, and it is the whole, just the simple, mix your dry ingredients, mix your wet ingredients. For the wet ingredients, you will use softened butter, you'll use yogurt, about 3/4 of a cup sugar, 3 large eggs, and then 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. So mixing the dry ingredients, you're basically gonna mix your all-purpose Einkorn flour along with your salt and then your baking powder. You'll mix that together. I originally made this recipe using sour cream because I didn't happen to have yogurt, and I was just trying to use something that would be thick, that would be kind of in that dairy family and help hold it together. I thought that the sour cream was a little bit too thick and gave it a little bit more of a dry texture. I didn't like that as much, and so I did use the yogurt as I developed the recipe, and I like the yogurt a lot better. The origins of pound cake actually come from that word pound, because they used to use a pound of butter, they used to use a pound of eggs, which I don't know how they would have gotten that exact. I think it would have just been, you know, oh, we're using 8 eggs or whatever, something like that. But it was close to a pound. And so their ingredients, they were just used to those ingredients being about a pound, and they would mix them together and they would make their cake. Obviously, you're not going to use like a pound of salt, a pound of baking powder. So I don't know how that all worked together. But, you know, for the other ingredients, the butter, the flour, they would use a pound of them. And that, I guess, would help you remember the ingredients pretty well. This recipe is not going to be quite as close to a pound as the original pound cake recipe. But, you know, in some ways, I guess we are kind of having the pound, because a half of a cup of butter, that's like a half a pound of butter. I think 3 eggs would be close to a half a pound. So maybe if you doubled this recipe, then it would be about the right amount for the old-fashioned pound cake. I don't know. Once your cake has been all mixed together, remember, you do not want to overmix it. Just bring it together, and then you are going to set aside just for a few minutes, because that will help the flour to absorb all of the moisture. This is important when you're using this heritage grain einkorn. Remember this part, because that is important for. While you are waiting for your grain to absorb all the moisture, you can get your loaf pan, and we're going to grease it, and then we'll add some flour. Just make it really well greased and floured. I like to use coconut oil when I grease a pan. You can use butter, you could use oil, and then I just add a little sprinkle of flour over it, and that really does help it to come out of the pound at the end. I have had some horrible breads that I've made in these loaf pans that really leave a lot, and I found that this tends to help quite a bit when you both grease it and flour it. So definitely try and do that. So we're going to cook this pound cake for about 50 to 55 minutes in your oven at about 350 degrees. And once it has cooked, you can take it out, let it cool for, about 10 minutes or so before you try to take it out of the pan. If you don't let it sit first and cool off just a bit, then you risk it kind of falling apart in the pan while you're trying to take it out. So always make sure you let it cool off a little bit before you try and dump it out of the pan. You don't want to hurt it. And then, in addition to that, I like to wait about 30 minutes before I cut it. But oh boy, when you do cut it, everybody will be so ready. And that's how it was when we made this pound cake for our garden party. They were so ready for it. I had wanted to make our backyard space just so fun for them. They helped me pick flowers at one point, and we decorated a table. And then I brought the pound cake out to do some pictures with it for the blog. And of course, it drew all of these yellow jackets. And I could not get the pictures, because who wants to see pictures of cake with yellow jackets all over it? And so I finally just ran in with the pound cake and let everyone kind of stuff their faces inside. I did not get the pictures or the garden party that I had planned, but you know, the pound cake was still enjoyed. So if you want to get this recipe, you can go to the blog hilltopinthevalley.com. The recipe will be there for you. I have a question for you, and that is, which ways would be most beneficial for helping you to learn how to use einkorn flour in your baking? Would it be through giving you a course where I walk along slowly and answer questions in the course and help you to see things a little bit more closely than you can see them on YouTube or on the blog? Would it be a live workshop where we go over one specific item, like making bread, and you're able to ask questions during the workshop and you're able to see me go from start to finish on it? Or would it be a book of recipes, a cookbook that would help you? So let me know in the comment box below what you guys think would most help in your learning to cook with einkorn flour. If you are looking for other summer recipes, don't forget to check out the blueberry lemon sourdough scones made with the einkorn flour, as well as the strawberry scones. And those two are both wonderful. There's also some amazing lemon poppy seed muffins that I made last year that are also great if you go for the lemon flavor. You don't have to, but if you decide to while you are making this pound cake, you can always add in blueberries, you can add in blackberries or strawberries, but my suggestion would be to do it while you're pouring the pound cake batter into the loaf pan. So I would pour in about half of your batter into the loaf pan and then sprinkle the berries throughout and then pour in the rest of the batter. And that way you're not getting pink or red all throughout your batter, and that ends up cooking that way. And you're able to just separate the berries from the cake, and it just tends to look a lot better when you bake it. So let me know how this recipe works for you, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.